Okay, so as usual, we're going to start out with where I'm at. So this is where I'm at now. This is where I'm at with my assets now. This is where I'll be at the end of the plan. Okay, so the story I'm going to tell you about today, which I think all of you should hear and stay with me and be patient, is this is a story about my wife's friend. And my wife's friend, my wife's teacher, and she's also a teacher. And so last year, I think she's like 63, she may be 64. Um, and her husband, I think he is 67, something like that. So she was sharing with my wife that this last year that she was thinking about retiring. You know, some of the healthcare stuff was confusing her a little bit. And And so she was just debating whether to go or not. And of course, I'm like, hey, if you can afford it and you've got your health care and you got your husband's already retired. I mean, she wasn't asking me. I was just sharing this with my wife. You should go. More time is better. And I don't get the impression you need that much. So then about 6 months ago, my wife comes home and she's clearly upset. And she says that she found out that her friends, which I won't name names, husband has cancer. And so that's kind of where this story is going. And don't press stop. It's so important. It's not clickbait. This is important. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. Well, I'm going to show you why now. So the point was, as my wife got talking to her, he got admitted to the hospital. And then, I mean, I'll jump to in 3 months, he basically died. So what happened was my wife was sharing a little bit about what happened, and apparently he'd been complaining for years about sciatica, that he had sciatica, and turns out it wasn't sciatica, it was colon cancer. Now, the reason I'm telling you this, and you're going to see this on my tab up here, is I just got my colonoscopy yesterday, in part because of this guy. Now, I had a colonoscopy like 7 years ago, um, because because there was some blood in my stool, and it turned out to be nothing. Um, but they said, just because of that, let's check every 5 to 7 years. So I got mine yesterday. And I'm just going to tell you before we get into the basics of this thing, not the colonoscopy, but why it's so important, is it's just so freaking easy. All you have to do, it's like 24 hours before you're basically just drinking water and some formula. You go in, they put you to sleep, not like animal put you to sleep. They give you through an IV, they you go to sleep, and then you wake up in an hour and a half or whatever, best sleep of your life you ever had, and then they tell you the results. So my results were, he said, hey, I found one, everything looked great. He said, I found one polyp. They take it out. He really wasn't worried about it, but just in case there's something there that they can't see with the naked eye, they have it sent off to a laboratory. So what's the point of this? The point of this is this pain that he'd been suffering with for some years was a symptom of his colon cancer. Now, who would think that, right? Sciatica. That he was thinking it was sciatica, his legs were hurting or whatever. And it was probably, I think it was, because I think this is what my wife's friend said, is she had been begging him for years to go in and get a colonoscopy. And the thing about it is, if you catch this stuff early, then they can do something about it. And it is literally nothing. Listen, I know I'm a guy. I didn't want to do this. Because I did it the 7 years ago because I was a little panicked. And then literally when my wife heard this story, she was like, Steve, what are you worried about? And I'm like, absolutely. What am I worried about? And to be honest with you, what stressed me the most was literally the results, not the process, but would they find something? And they didn't. And in 2 weeks, they're going to tell me the results if there was anything in there that couldn't be seen by the naked eye. That's probably just fine because it's pretty common to have a polyp in there, I guess. Um, but the point is, the number one, the easiest way to ruin a retirement is to die. And so now here it is. They had all these plans to do things. They didn't put anything on hold. They had a nice balanced life because she wasn't that old and neither was he. And he died. And I would never say this if she saw this video, but there is probably a great chance if 15 years ago, because let's see, I got mine at 50. I think you're supposed to start at 50. If he would have gotten those colonoscopies and gotten them once every 5 years, or whatever, there's probably a really good chance they could have caught it early. But he too stubborn to go into the doctors, and I know that tends to be us guys. So that prompted me. So get out there and freaking do it. Like, how sucky would it be? You work your whole life, you plan your whole retirement, and because you didn't want to go into the doctor which is a nothing procedure. I'm sure there are some procedures that are generally you could be afraid of. Take it from me. I just did it yesterday. It is not something you need to be afraid of. It's a piece of cake. So that got me going. I was thinking about this. So I asked ChatGPT, what are the three biggest killers of men in retirement? So, number one, heart disease, right? Cardiovascular. So, the great thing, look at this though. What can we do? Regular aerobic exercise, not a problem. So, listen, I look, it annoys me to death. I walk 2.5 miles on the treadmill, 3 times a week for the last year and a half. I work out Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I walk Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. And I restrict my intake. Not crazy. It's like 2 eggs for breakfast, a really light lunch like salad with chicken on it. It used to be fruit shakes like that I would make with yogurt stuff. Um, it's dinner that I could probably cut down on a little bit. I do all the cooking, so I make sure we have healthy dinners. But this is something you can do something about, right? And even when they did the thing yesterday, um, they get your blood pressure and they monitor your heart and everything. It looked good. But it's all things you can control, right? You can control this stuff. This is my favorite one right here, chronic stress. Once I got out of retirement, my chronic stress was gone. And all these are easy to control. Excess alcohol, poor diet, lack of exercise. These are all things that are in our purview to control. Number two, prostate, lung, and colorectal cancers are the most common. That's a colon screening. Get a colonoscopy. Look at that. Routine screenings. The number one up there is colonoscopy. And I'm gonna come back to this one in a second. Chest scans for former smokers. Don't freaking smoke. And I know that's easier. I don't smoke, so it's easy to say that. PSA test. I'm assuming that is for prostate. It's probably a prostate screening exam or something. I had one of those done. I'm going to look into this and see if I need to get another one. Avoid tobacco. Maintain a healthy weight. Things that are very much in your control. Number three, listen, these are the top three killers, things we can control. Why it's number three? After age 65, the leading cause of injury among men, hip fractures, head injuries, complications like blood clots or pneumonia often follow the fall. So true. Muscle loss, poor balance, medications. I don't know what to do about that one. Medications causing dizziness. I take a daily vitamin, which I'm starting to question because I think the one I'm taking is they can make vitamins two ways, naturally or artificially. And supposedly artificially doesn't absorb into the body as well. So I was getting it cheap. So I'm going to look into a daily vitamin. I've been doing that for like a couple of years now. But I have a feeling they're too cheap. Muscle loss. Get in there, man. Strength training. Get out there. Like I'm working out Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Granted, I don't know if you'll ever see me doing yoga, tai chi. I don't know, home safety checks. I can't see I'm going to be doing it. Install grab bars. Um, Vision and medication reviews. So obviously, I go to I've always had kind of weak eyes, not always, but lately. So those are three things that you can do. But if I could, I would get her on here and have her do the interview because I'm sure with her, it's much more at home. But it's the simplest thing, guys. I did it. Oh, sorry, I'm looking up. I did it yesterday. It's easy. It's not a big deal. Don't be afraid. Get in there and do it. And it could save your retirement. And I mean, really, it's saving your life. But I mean, the context is a retirement channel. So just take to heart, don't do the stupid man thing that all of us fight. And that's, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Especially if you're retired, get your butt in there. You have plenty of time. So, but on a positive note, it's a great day in the market. My gold investment is rocking. I think I've made like 6% on my gold since I did it. I put more gold in yesterday, not an absorbent amount. For me, it's a, it's like a safe haven kind of asset because I wanted to get rid of my treasuries. Sorry, if I keep looking up, it's because my camera. Um, I want to get rid of my treasuries and move into something else. So I moved into gold, and it's just been awesome for me. So again, have a great day. Don't be afraid to go to the doctor. I'm going to publish this today because it's fresh in my mind, and I haven't done one for a while because of just camera issues and and lighting issues and things like that. So do it. I mean, guys, it's so important. Look at this. Like, I really didn't expect it to be one of the top three. I knew heart disease would be there, and obviously all the obvious ones: exercise, healthy diet, blah 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 blah. But I had no idea that literally that was one of the most common cancers in older men. So, and this guy I think was 65 or 67, maybe. He'd been retired a couple years, I think. Like I said, I wish she could tell you the story because it would be more real, but obviously she doesn't want to do that. And you know, it's just not good. So do it. Don't be afraid. Get out there and do it.